All right, so what I'm going to start with, ladies and gentlemen, is how many of you have come here with family members today? Click the raise hand button. Any family members in the room? All right, okay, nobody wants to raise up. Got 2 raised hands. So, and I missed the other one, too fast. 2 more raised hands. So your family members are around. More family members from Suyan Camp. Please take those people, embrace them, say thank you for helping me to get this far to the family members. And those of you who are alone today, don't worry. I didn't invite my wife either, so it's okay. You can sometimes experience things on your own with your classmates, virtually, with your colleagues, all right? And the next thing I would like to ask, anybody have pets? Any animals? All right, okay. Anyway, so let's take a moment to think about how far you've come. Yeah, of course you brought your dog. You brought your cat, didn't you? How far you've come and how you felt kind of along the way. So when you first started with us, everybody, I wonder how many of you felt a little bit sad that you were here, away from your families, away from your loved ones. We keep throwing all this work at you. That's perfectly okay. All right. It's okay to feel a little bit sad. It's a new context for you. It's a new challenge. So you might have gotten a little emotional, especially towards finals. How many raise your hand if you felt at times a little bit frustrated? Maybe you had too much work coming at you. Maybe you were frustrated with your family. Maybe you were frustrated with your, I don't know, your teachers, your classmates. You know, that's perfectly natural. And the reason for that, of course, is especially when you're online, what you find when you're teaching online is that it's sometimes like you're talking to yourself, okay? So sometimes it's like you're the only one in the room, right? So I hope that what we can do together today is going to help you to feel a little bit less like, you know, you might have felt like kind of a novice before. You might have felt like everything was completely new, that you were a clean slate. But hopefully you left us with a little bit of knowledge and a little bit of happiness. Can I just say that if you experience joy in our programs, please click the raise hand button. Anyone experience joy? Nobody? Really? Okay. You know what? I felt some joy teaching you guys. I'm not going to lie. All right. So, and all of your teachers will agree with me here. Teaching is something you kind of have to enjoy it, right? You kind of have to just feel happy with what you're doing. It's not something people do just to be a job, right? And so if we can think for a moment about perceptions of teaching. When you first came to us, you might have thought, for example, that when you're teaching, you're up on a stage, right? And you are performing for the learners. You're doing a little goofy dance and entertaining them. Well, over time, you probably realize it's more than that. I mean, it's okay to entertain, but we entertain with a purpose, right? There's a method to our madness. The entertainment is learning if it's good entertainment. You might have also thought, hey, I think my job in this room is to deliver important knowledge to the learners, maybe from your forehead. Maybe you realize you're a little bit short, like I do. I hope you're looking at what I'm looking at, or it look pretty strange what I'm doing. But over time, I do hope you realize that in our classrooms, it's not about the teacher delivering knowledge. It's about involving the learners because, as Tracy said in her address, I believe this was the quote from Scrivener, that teaching does not depend on what the teacher is doing. Learning doesn't depend on what the teacher is doing. Learning depends on what the learners are doing. And so all we need to do is facilitate that. But that's a set of skills that you can get with us. And you did, in fact. Now, I hope that you learned some things about what good teachers are, what good teachers do. Good teachers are knowledgeable, right? Good teachers know the content that they're teaching. But more than that, and perhaps more importantly, they know how to teach it. Now, in our case, that kind of overlaps because what we are teaching is how to teach, but for a biology teacher, right? A history teacher, they have this content and then they have to deliver it. And as content and language come together more and more in our classrooms, we have to really understand both of those things quite well. You probably also picked up on good teachers are professional, right? You don't necessarily have to wear a suit over your suit, but sometimes being professional simply means that we take our job seriously, right? It means that it's not just something you're doing for a paycheck. And I don't know if this is true of my colleagues, but there's nothing more frustrating for me than to see a teacher who's clearly just doing it to travel, for example, or to experience a new country and then do it for a year and they really hate their jobs and they go home with this experience. I hope all of our graduates, if you become a teacher, I hope you're really professional about it. And I think you got those skills with us. I think also a good teacher kind of transforms in the classroom, right? A good teacher knows when to put on a different face for the learners. And this doesn't mean you're not being authentic, right? This is more about reaching them on their own level. Whatever face you have to put on to make sure that they learn, good teachers know to do that. Now, I hope that you also realize that good teachers are full of love for their learners. They're full of love for their subject. They're full of love for the craft of teaching. Maybe not this many hearts, that's a bit excessive, but we certainly do love what we're doing. Now, when you go out there in the world, you're going to think about the future. You're going to continue to learn. But I hope that you don't forget where you came from. I hope you don't forget who gave you that first peek into what good teaching is all about. And I hope you come back and visit because you are now members of the TESOL community. So once again, congratulations to the graduating class of Fall 2020 SMU Young Learner Program and Play and Learn. How about a round of applause?